on national television in the finals, we did it as a team. All season long we did it as a team, and you got to give my teammates all the credit.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all having a good day so far. So I want to keep this intro short. This is Uncut Hoops, the truth about Michael Jordan's career, 1991. This is part 6 of 12. Wow, part 6 now. I've been waiting very patiently for this one. It's been a little while, and Uncut did such a great job in every single one leading up to this. Can't wait to get into this. I just want to go. So, guys, link is down below in the description for the original video from Uncut Hoops. Please go check out his channel. Go check out the rest of the videos in this series. Fantastic. I mean, you're going to get hours and hours of Michael Jordan breakdowns that you'll never see anywhere else on YouTube. So, highly recommend it. Shout out to channel members. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button. And this is going to be a long one. Let's go.
Is there any one thing in your life, whether it's on the court or off the court, that could really humble Michael Jordan and bring him to his knees?
I guess to win. At the time, I was there 8 years almost, and the saying was the Chicago Bulls would never win with the scoring leader. Michael Jordan scored too many points.
Yep.
I guess what I'm seeing now is that actual grind to come into a new situation, start at the bottom, and gradually get yourself closer to that ultimate goal of winning the world championship. And I think that if I do win it, I can see all the levels and all the steps, and it can be more gratifying. It was gratifying to see that all, the so-called perfect critics who knew the game were totally wrong about me as a basketball player being able to adjust to a certain system.
Anyone who ever questioned whether Michael Jordan was willing to give up and sacrifice for a championship was completely wrong.
He accomplished what he...
And that's why I love that this whole series started out with his rookie year all the way on, because it shows the struggle to get to here. If you're just tuning in on this one, this is where, he finally conquered. He got to the top of the mountain. But it's really rewarding watching the whole journey, the whole struggle to get up here. And then the fact that he just stays up here is crazy.
And sacrifice for a championship was completely wrong.
He accomplished what he set out to do, what he always wanted to show everybody, that he could win a championship.
When looking at Michael Jordan's first 6 years in the NBA, he clearly established himself as one of the best players in the game, one of the most exciting players in league history.
For sure.
As the fans back then, he was the new era Dr. J with a tad bit of David Thompson. Michael Jordan by 91, everyone knew this guy was one of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
But in order to be an all-time great, one of the upper echelon players, what you need is a championship, if not championship.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think anybody, even his haters, had any difficulty saying that he was the best player in the NBA at this point. I think we all knew, it was obvious. But that elusive championship was the thing separating him from all the other greats.
I was looking at guys like Bird, Matty, Dr. J, all those guys had at least one title.
Yep.
Now, for the critics of Jordan back then, here's one big knock on them they had from 85 up till 1991. Michael Jordan, the player, was too selfish, too ball dominant. As at this point, a score-first guard, score-first two guard could not win a championship. For the MJ critics right here, technically they weren't wrong. As part of Jordan, the idea a player like him could win a championship simply had never really happened. So Jordan 91 was trying to do two things simultaneously. First and foremost, win the damn championship.
Yeah.
But secondly, more importantly, change a paradigm of winning and shift the narrative on what a winning player is.
Yeah.
And speaking of...
And also, I mean, to do it without a dominant center also shut that up, because if they would have gone out and got like a David Robinson caliber, or in this era would have been like a Patrick Ewing caliber center, then it would have almost proven their theory correct, which was a dominant center. You need a dominant center in order to win. You can't win with just a dominant guard, a ball dominant guard. It's impossible. But Jordan did it without that dominant center, and he did it as being that dominant guard. Because, I mean, come on. Bill Cartwright was the starting center at this point.
Look at the 91.
And I'm talking old Bill Cartwright, like medical Bill Cartwright.
Bulls. Up to this point in Bulls history, the winningest team they'd ever seen. As Chicago this year, for the first time ever, cracked 60 wins. They're first in offensive rating, 7th in defensive rating, first in net, and 7th in scoring. Looking at this Bulls team right here, it was the best Bulls team in franchise history. And due to their team success, plus Jordan's dominance, MJ for the second time in his career won the MVP.
And I want to get away from being that individual that stands out above them. I want to be a part of them. I think that was one of the reasons that when I went up to get my MVP award, I wanted them to come with me.
I love this.
Because they were the reason I actually won. I was being given that MVP by my teammates, by people that I play with and I'm with 8 months out of the year, instead of the media who I see quite a bit. But my players actually gave me that because of the way they played.
For Michael Jordan,
and that's when you know the guy's he's full-blown leader mode. He figured it out. He knows how to be a true leader.
By 91 as individual player, stats, numbers, even individual accolades were secondary to winning a championship. As at this point, Jordan accolades-wise had done everything from individual perspective.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he already got a DPOY, all the scoring titles you could ask for, multiple MVPs, all-star MVPs, dunk contest champion. Like, what has he not done at this point, except for won a damn championship?
What he needed now was that last crowning achievement of winning the title. And again, looking at the Bulls team, it was not a one-man show, the Michael Jordan show. This Bulls team, their starting lineup, we had MJ, Pippen, Grant Cartwright, and John Paxson. That starting five crew now had been together for 3 years. They had tons of continuity.
Yeah.
And looking at that bench depth, guys like Armstrong and Stacey King, who are now sophomores.
Cliffy.
You had Scott Williams and Cliff Livingston, who are new additions that weren't there in 1990. This Bulls team, top to bottom, was primed for a championship run. And quite honestly, their biggest obstacle was actually themselves and the overall mental doubt of, can we actually do this? For non-championship teams, before they win a championship, that last mental hurdle is the biggest challenge and the final boss. Now, for this Bulls team 91 entering the postseason, they were in uncharted waters where the franchise had simply never been. As with the great record, they had home court advantage throughout the postseason. For the Bulls franchise, they've never had that big time advantage. And look at their first round opponent in the 8-1 matchup. That, of course, was the New York Knicks. And looking at this Knicks team, you know, a mediocre to bad team that was in a bizarre gap year waiting for Pat Riley. The overall record, below 500. Defensive rating, 12th. Offensive rating, 16th. And net rating, they were 15th. Of course, that right there is pretty mediocre. But look at the actual players.
Cheeks, Trent Tucker.
I mean, you had Patrick Ewing, Joe Wilkins,
Charles
even a Kiki Vandeweghe. And the starting point guard was Mo Cheeks, who replaced Mark Jackson.
Yeah, not the greatest lineup ever. Definitely not. This
Knicks team's star power, their name value, was actually halfway decent. But look at the collective unit, they simply did not work. Now, looking at Game 1 Knicks vs. Bulls in Chicago, in the first quarter, Michael Jordan, a pretty rough start, shooting 1 for 6. And the entire Bulls team was definitely rusty, only shooting 27%.
Yikes.
The Bulls right here in the first quarter off to a very slow start, where the one constant was great defense, sparking some easy offensive opportunities. And for this Knicks team, one of their big time problems was closing quarters and starting quarters. To close the first quarter, a quick Bulls 8-0 run with MJ on the bench. MJ comes back in the game, they're still clicking, 11-0 run, and Jordan has 7 of the 11 points. At this point for the entire Bulls team, I mean, they were in complete control on both ends of the floor.
I see this. Yeah, this defensive intensity is great. Even if your shot's not falling, it doesn't matter. If you can get it done on that end, you create transition points.
Well, they showed the Knicks. We're not winning Game 1 at home in a building.
Wow.
35-6 on the season.
Hopefully trying to set the screen.
Oh, good job, Pippen.
Almost with the steal. Ball loose on the floor.
Dude.
Nobody wants it. Now here comes Jordan.
Put it up.
They anticipate them working out.
Pressure now put on by Chicago. Jordan, great steals. But he's done everything else so well.
Wow. Way to stay in front of him, Pip.
He says, I'm not worried about my future.
MJ guarding Pat? Successfully?
Vandeweghe on Jordan.
Well, Vandeweghe has a major height advantage.
Here's your wall, Brian. To the hole.
It's interesting when the Knicks play Chicago because Chicago scores more points off their defense than they do when they're on offense.
Exactly, yeah, so who cares if your shot's falling?
Of course, the thing that you must do is make sure that you handle the press, eliminate those turnovers.
That first half of the Bulls right there was complete and utter domination.
I mean, that's some savage crap, man. First game in the playoffs, first quarter, first half, and you're doing a full court press on these guys. Like, that sets the tone.
And looking at that second quarter, the Knicks had a grand total of 10 turnovers. Looking at Knicks playoff history, this beatdown was their worst ever. As in the end, they lost by 41 points with MJ being a DNP in the fourth quarter because the game was that far out of reach.
The worst in team playoff history. Damn.
Now, looking at game 2, the Knicks superstar Patrick Ewing bounced back in a big-time way, as in the first quarter, 14 early points, jump shots, dunks, doing whatever he wanted. The Knicks right here had a clear intent, get Ewing involved. In large part due to that game plan,
nice play.
Game 2 in Chicago was much more competitive. And look at the third quarter, you expected a Bulls quick run, 8-0-11 like game 1. It simply never really happened. Game 2 for the Bulls, yes, they would end up winning, but for the Knicks, it was a slow and painful death.
To the batter who is being guarded by Hobson. Jordan has reported back. Nice setup by a 71-68 advantage. Jordan, yes! Right, that is his 5th.
Situation early.
Oh, man.
Each quarter, many coaches emphasize that as one of the most
5 for 6 from the line.
I do try to give you credit where credit is due. Earlier in the quarter, you mentioned that in close. What Phil Jackson does is he puts the ball in his hands at the end of the game. If you're going to foul somebody, he's a tough guy to foul.
Yeah.
Quarter, Bulls 83.
That's Ratapu talking about MJ.
Shot clock at 3. Here is Jordan. Yes.
Man.
For Jordan's first 2 games of this postseason run, here's one thing you gotta notice. The vast majority of these games, Jordan was taking a backseat role, letting other guys thrive, get involved, and find a rhythm. In game 2, yes, in the fourth quarter, he took over. But looking at both games collectively, Jordan's offensive impact was much more reduced compared to past seasons. As looking at game 1, 15 shots, 28 points, and game 2, 16 shots, 26 points. Michael Jordan playing that way the first 2 games was no doubt deliberate. As much like a Lamborghini, you don't want to put miles on him when you don't really need it.
Yeah. In fact, Horace Grant said in a podcast very recently that the whole thing, the major idea of what Phil Jackson was trying to drill in Jordan's head very early on was save that energy for the fourth. You know what I mean? Instead of coming out like a Ferrari, like you said, Uncut, just going balls to the wall, scoring at will for 4 straight quarters every single game. He's like, how about you take it easy, get everyone involved in the fourth quarter? That's when you go balls to the wall. You take over. You know what I mean? And it makes perfect sense. And MJ did it so great here. He did it on the second 3P too. Once he learned a lesson, and he never looked back.
If he didn't go 100 miles an hour, he can do it. But versus this Knicks team, it's simply not needed because the Bulls are that good and that dominant.
And there are times where he did need to do this. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, game 3 to the Knicks' credit.
Think back to like game 6 of the 98 finals where it was all MJ. Just it's all on you, buddy.
Roll over and didn't play dead. As in the first quarter and a half, actually up by 14 points, the majority of it up about 6 to 8 points. Now, when things really changed in this game was the mid-second quarter where Jordan checked back into the ball game. Jordan, to close the half, start the third quarter, absolutely took over. And that 14-point Knicks lead, 8-point Knicks lead, quickly dwindled to the Bulls, had all the momentum and all the energy on their side.
Strong, his jumper missed from the left. Stacey King with a follow block. Jordan follows good.
I love
Michael
it.
Jordan.
I love seeing the shooting guard boxing out in there.
Van away. Jordan knocks it loose and steals the ball from him off the dribble. The Bulls back in transition. Armstrong a gimme. Top gets it right back, knocked right back to him. Now Van driving inside block. Jordan comes away with it. Bulls on the push, 2-on-1. Packs to the hoop, lays it in with
I'm telling you guys, this first three-peat Bulls, I know the records aren't as good. Look at the tenacious defense, though. I think this is a better product than the second three-peat Bulls. I still do.
On the right side, it's Pippen, guarded by Vandeweghe. 12 to shoot. Alley-oop to Jordan, and he guides it in.
This defense is unmatched.
Vandeweghe, way out to the left.
To this day.
Michael on the drive, in from the left, off to Horns for the dunk.
Yeah. And I dare to say in 92, the defense got even better.
Play to the left. Michael double-teamed on the drive, in from the left, gets chased in the corner, comes right back.
That's so awesome now to know. This is the same game. So we saw just about a minute ago, Jordan attempted this exact move, but then they pushed him out in the baseline. But this time, he got him. He got them all. That must have made it even sweeter.
And I should say is New York, 54-53 on the Bulls Network.
For this Knicks team in the first half, despite outplaying Chicago for 80% of the half, they were only up by 1 point. If you're a Knicks fan, that's completely demoralizing. And look at that third quarter, Jordan, of course, 15 points, nearly beating the Knicks by himself as a team, only had 17.
Jeez.
Where this game was won was the second and third quarters due to Michael Jordan. As looking at the fourth quarter, there was really no contest, and the game was simply out of reach. In the second time in Bulls history,
look at this defense
in the first round.
And I think our pressure bothered them, and we kept it up. We felt at the end of the first half that if we could shut them down a little bit, and we did. I think 17-point third quarter. And we had the misfortune to lose Cartwright, but Purdue came up big. And Michael, I think, sensed the situation and went on one of his splurges.
Grant Ewing on him loosely. Yeah. Now Jordan top of the key against Wilkins.
He's like, my unit
Michael drives it
has a weakness.
Spins back with a fadeaway jumper.
I must compensate.
Michael Jordan. Grant has it out front. Right corner, Pippen. He shoots from there. In and out. Rebound, Oakley. Jordan steals the ball. Michael Jordan, left baseline jumper, good.
Guys, offensive rebounds are so valuable. So
Even
valuable.
Ewing out of high, pressuring the way he was last time. Michael's fadeaway shot, good out front off Jordan. Michael low right against Wilkins, 6 to shoot.
Oops.
Jordan turning, fadeaway on Wilkins, got it.
Damn it, he was checking for a double, but the double never came.
Point lead this time. Michael Jordan driving it baseline left in on Wilkins.
Beautiful.
Michael Jordan with 28.
Congratulations, first of all. Can you say sweep, right?
Yeah, but we don't like to talk that way. We have a job we feel we have to do, and this was just the first step.
Love it.
And we played well. We thought we were in a good position at halftime, only being down 1. We knew that we had probably taken their best punch, and defensively we were just terrific in the third and fourth quarters. Made Ewing take tough shots, made him pass out of situations, and our defense really won these 3 games for us.
I love it. I love the whole team's mindset here, which is like there's no celebrating anything short of the championship. That's all you celebrate.
So that Bulls-Knicks first-round series matchup, I mean, it was complete domination. And the majority of the series, the Bulls were only going half speed and expending too much energy.
I remember I think it was 2001 or 2002, whichever year was the Suns and Bucks in the finals. I remember when we won the Western Conference Finals, the Suns that is, and we got in to the NBA Finals. We hadn't played in the NBA Finals yet, but it was after that last game that got us in. My son celebrated like they won a championship. Champagne everywhere, full celebration, goggles, you name it. I knew we were in trouble at that moment. Like, you can't celebrate that early.
Now, the one thing I will note, when it comes to Jordan's big-time rivals in the 80s and 90s, one of those guys was, in fact, Patrick Ewing. And looking at Ewing now versus Jordan head-to-head, he was 0-2 and winless. And speaking of rivals, look at Charles Barkley, who yet again will face off against Jordan and the Bulls in the second round.
Dang.
Philadelphia last year, 1990.
I didn't realize his numbers were, 91 versus the Bulls. So he'd been lighting up Horace Grant. 29, 13, and 5. Wow.
And will face off against Jordan and the Bulls in the second round. Philadelphia last year, 1990, it was a hard-fought battle, which they lost. 1991, they were out for revenge, and it was Barkley versus Jordan, head-to-head yet again.
I'm a mad dog who's only concerned about winning.
Let's go, Chuck. Sir Charles.
With Charles Wade Barkley, what you see is what you get. Sir Charles lives his life the way he plays basketball, with intense passion and brutal honesty.
I have great respect for him. I can't let him dominate the series like he did last year. He dominated. He averaged 16 points in the fourth quarter alone against us. That can't happen this year. We're not going to stop Michael. I don't think they're going to stop me, because it's up to me to cancel Michael out. You know, if he gets 30, I should get 30. If I get 15 and he gets 30, they're going to win.
Now,
he understands the assignment. That is the job. If he can cancel out the greatest player in the world, it's up to the rest of the team to pick up the pieces from there, man. Figure it out. Get the rest done.
A team, unlike 1990, they weren't a legit contender, an upper echelon Eastern Conference team. And why that was one, due to injuries, and two, some pretty suspect trades. And look at their overall makeup. 44 wins, down 9 from the previous year, offensive rating 13th, defensive rating 16th, and overall net 14th. For this Philadelphia team in 1991, having Charles Barkley, Hersey Hawkins, some pretty decent pieces, they were a good team, but not a great team. And versus the Bulls in the season, actually had a winning record, going 3-1, winning the season series. Long story short, even though they were a mediocre team, when you play Charles Barkley, anything can happen. And looking at Game 1, the Bulls definitely knew that. As in the first quarter, they came out on fire, playing lockdown defense, forcing turnovers, and of course, running the break. The Bulls start this game at a 17-point lead, and were shooting damn near 80% from the field. And the game really got blown open was in the second quarter, a 17-4 run. After that moment, the Bulls, they were in complete control, and Philadelphia never really threatened them in the third quarter or even the fourth. And looking at MJ in the fourth quarter, the second time in 5 games, he was a
It's crazy. This looks like sloppy basketball, but it's all because of the defense they're playing.
The second quarter,
hold on.
a 17-4 run. After that moment, the Bulls...
watch this. Look at the intensity here. What are you supposed to do?
For complete control, and Philadelphia never really threatened them in the third quarter or even the fourth. And looking at MJ in the fourth quarter...
They're everywhere. You think you got an inch to breathe, a moment to breathe? MJ's right there on you.
The second time in 5 games, he was a DNP. If you're Phil Jackson, you gotta love that. Now, looking at Game 2 also in Chicago, in the first quarter both these teams were firing on all cylinders, and there was very little defense being played. And looking at Jordan, versus double teams, triple teams, was getting whatever he wanted. Now, he had to,
look at that trap.
But just offer an easy basket or an easy jump shot. Jordan, the first quarter of this game, was showcasing the entire arsenal. And give credit to the Bulls role players.
Double team.
When Jordan passed the ball to them,
oh man, off to the third guy.
They knocked it down more times than not. So looking at this game in the first half, the Bulls definitely dominant, but Philadelphia hanging around being competitive. When Philadelphia got the lead down to 4 points or 6 points, Chicago would come back immediately, push it to 10, 12, just like that. And one thing I do want to highlight very quickly, look at the first 5 games of the postseason, the Bulls, of course 5-0, but how they're going to get done was defensively. And look at these stats. Steals per game, 10.2. Blocks, 3.2. Points per game allowed, 90.0. Figure percentage, below 45%. And turnovers forced, an absurd 17.4.
That's crazy. Off of these 10 steals, you got to imagine at least like 15 points are scored off of that. And then at least... negative 10 points for the opposition. You know what I mean? It matters.
17.4.
By the Bulls. Well, the Bulls are so athletic, they can switch at times on the floor and still not wind up with a real 10 man.
And the Sixers, who shot so well on the sweep of Milwaukee, only 2 for 11 from the field.
Look at this.
Off the press, Cartwright picks it off.
Oh, man.
It's beautiful. With 5 blocks to turn it in the 76ers' favor.
Oh, he stayed right on it.
Nowhere to go. Anderson stopped. Got the step.
Good help. Good weak side help.
Lost it.
BJ.
Here's Jordan.
MJB and MJ.
42. Pressure by Chicago. Livingston applying it on Mahorn.
There you go. Good trap. Good trap,
Not
Pax.
allowing the Sixers to get up court.
Oh, MJ. There he is.
Off the seal.
He just shows up, man. The ball just ends up in his hand. It's so funny.
And they are quick. Now, during the course of the 5 playoff games versus New York and Chicago, they've held the opposition to only 90 points a game. That's Detroit, kind of a statistic. During the course of the year, Detroit led the league in holding teams under 151 times. Now, Chicago was right there 46 times, so it's not a surprise to the NBA people.
Now, looking at Game 3 in Philadelphia, technically not do or die, but you go down 0-3 in the series is effectively over. And Philadelphia in this game, they definitely knew that, and Charles Barkley from the jump came out on a mission. And watching Charles this game, I mean, this dude is an absolute beast, one of the best players to ever lace them up. And compared to Jordan, in terms of athletic ability, explosiveness, these guys debatably are on the exact same tier. That's how good Charles Barkley was at his peak in 1991.
Guys, I just realized I think I missed a couple of these, by the way. I think I left off on like 88. So I'm going to go back after this video. I'm going to figure out which ones I did watch and which ones I didn't watch, because I want to get this all right. So don't be surprised if in a couple of days I go back and watch one of, either 88 or 89 or whatever it's going to be.
And looking at Jordan this game, kind of seeing Barkley be in alpha mode, score first mode, he matched that energy in the first half and scored 22 points. And Chicago at the break was up by 4. Now fast forward to the third quarter, Chicago up by 10 points. The typical game script for Chicago pulls away as the game advances. And the bad thing this time, Chicago up by 10 points, they would blow this lead. In the fourth quarter,
man, 0 free throws for the Bulls, 15 for Philly in the third quarter. What the hell was going on here?
There's some boneheaded mistakes in plays. They would blow this game late and squander a key opportunity to go up 3-0.
Anderson, and it comes to Barkley. Barkley taking it inside, gets to Hersey.
Oh, big shot.
Michael Jordan, that's a different story.
To Cartwright, back to Pippen. You see the time remaining. Pippen launching it.
No. Pippen last second shots always hit the backboard.
No,
I don't know why, but they do.
I'm in the game. This is key.
Because there's still 1.8 seconds to go.
Now remember, Chicago still has one timeout remaining here.
And they'll call it right away and find this interesting.
Phil had a look of disgust on his face.
Now he can pick out the guy he wants to pass to.
Oh.
And this one is going to be...
That was a late pass, man.
The Philadelphia 76ers trailing for much of the night.
Mr. Pibb.
The fourth quarter right there for the Bulls, I mean, it was a comedy of errors. And look at their team in total, only 21 points. Michael Jordan, 12 of the 21. The series right now being 2-1 instead of 3-0, now anything can happen, and Game 4 for Chicago, well, it's not a must-win. You really want to win this and not be tied 2-2, extend the series. So looking at Game 4 in Philadelphia, Jordan again, super.
Damn, man. So he was all of their offense then and get in that Game 3.
Extend the series. So looking at Game 4 in Philadelphia, Jordan yet again super aggressive, and the first quarter took 9 shots. The Bulls in the first quarter, an early lead, and they were pushing the pace. And looking at Barkley, much like Game 3, he was on a heater. But here's the problem. Unlike Game 3, Charles Barkley was getting very little help, as at halftime, he had half of his team's total points. Charles right here was a one-man army putting the team on his back. And unfortunately for him, he'd only do that for so long. As look at the second half, unlike Game 3 Chicago, got a lead and maintained it to the very end. And looking at Jordan, he had some clutch buckets, big shots, but primarily was a passer, had 9 assists in the second half alone.
Wow.
For this Philadelphia team in Game 4, it came down to is they were undermanned and didn't have enough bodies or great offensive players. And looking at Game 5 in the first quarter, the exact same story. Barkley in the first quarter, 18 points, a game high. He was on fire. Despite Barkley's great first quarter, the Bulls and 76ers, I mean, it was neck and neck. And fast forward to the third quarter, mid-third quarter, it was a 5-point game, anyone's ball game. Where this game really changed, though, was Michael Jordan went to the basket, got a semi-hard foul, and got pissed at Ron Anderson. This play in the moment might not seem really crazy, seem like much. But for someone like Jordan, I mean, it takes one play, one word to set him off, and he goes absolutely nuts.
That's true.
In this game, that's exactly what happened. As that point on, Jordan had 21 points, including 12 in the fourth quarter, to close Philadelphia out in MVP fashion.
But when he gets into one of these little
12 rebounds, 7
the guy,
assists.
look for him to then really explode. He likes to do that to get himself back in the ballgame.
Go up to a 9-point lead.
That's him holding the basketball too long. Get attacked.
Whoa.
Still goals here. to one situation Philadelphia would, but again, when Charles Barkley holds the ball, this is the good news, bad news. The good news is Scottie
Pippen. Yeah, what a game. What a turnaround. Because you had a bad game 3. Good comeback. 28-5. 13 for 14. For what? What? That's the craziest stat line I've ever seen. That's awesome, Pip. Mr. Pip. 26, 14, and 7 for Mr. MJ. They won it on. There you go. That's where they won it. Off their rebounds. Pippen, we don't get to see his rebounds. Okay. So Jordan set the tone rebounding wise. We could say that. But damn, Pip was on fire.
It was red hot, picked up his 4th foul and had to sit down. The bad news is it meant Jordan had to go to work.
Well, Michael, I said, remember, he goes from 13 to 30 faster than anybody in the league.
Okay, so Pippen was hot, but he got in foul trouble, so Jordan had to take over. Okay. 1-2 punch.
Chicago scores here, and Michael makes a spectacular play. He might need a timeout.
Pop out Michael Jordan. 5 to shoot. Blue right, pass, Hawkins.
Well, this is the barn.
You ever seen a better baseline player than him?
Mrs. O'Leary. It was last tied at 8-8. Michael Jordan going to work inside.
15 rebounds, 7 to 6. Yeah. 6 to 7 from the line. 6-7.
Defense by Philadelphia. You know, we talked about him, Bob, in the game 3.
Jordan with 34 points. Hard to the hoop. Bulls hard in.
Got a foul. The clock's going to wind out and the game's going to be over.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, what are you guys doing?
To the bench. Jordan now with 18 rebounds.
Games to 3. They now have the home court advantage.
I always felt bad that Doug Collins is calling these games. Kind of like when Mark Jackson had to call the NBA Finals for Golden State. You know, it's like, this sucks, dude. you just lost your job. Like there's no way that they're not envisioning, like, or thinking the entire time, I should be there. I should be there for this.
For Michael Jordan and his Bulls team, one of his big-time requirements was closing games and hitting big shots in the fourth quarter when called upon. If you're a Bulls fan in 1991, that Game 5 versus Philadelphia was the perfect ending. As we look at the East Finals, Jordan having a great fourth quarter, great game overall, was a perfect tune-up for the Detroit Pistons.
For 350 days, Michael Jordan has wondered and awaited just one more chance at the 2-time defending champions.
Yep, this ain't the same Bulls team no more.
Here, the Chicago Bulls have been on fire, freezing their way through the playoffs.
Classic Marv Albert.
Now comes the ultimate gut check. The moment they have waited for has arrived. But the same Pistons force stands in their way. Will this be the year the Bulls end the nightmare? Or will Detroit make 3 feet a reality?
So many years.
I know that song. Isn't that called like Funeral for a Friend or something like that?
One said, this is our nemesis. This is the team that we can't beat. And I think we're driven to prove to people that we can beat this team.
I mean, it's the 2-time champions. You know, they're here to get a 3-peat at this point. This is a big deal.
So the Bulls right here in 1991, being owned by the Pistons at 88, 89, and 1990. This series would make or break for their franchise, Michael Jordan, and really everyone involved. As if they went 0-4 versus the Pistons, I mean, that would be absolutely devastating. Now, here's
if that happened, something big was going to happen. Somebody big was going to get traded. It might have been Scottie Pippen, you know, could have been Horace Grant. Somebody big was gonna get traded. You can't lose 4 years in a row to the same team.
Side of things, the Bulls compared to the Pistons, yes, were much more healthier, but more importantly, had home court advantage. In this rivalry, that was a huge deal. Look at the past 2 East Finals. The Bulls at home, a very impressive 5-1. At Detroit, an abysmal 1-6.
That's a big deal because the prior couple of years, the Pistons did have that home court advantage. So now, let's see what it's like when they don't have it.
And of course, 1990, they went 0-4 in Detroit in Game 7, choked like you wouldn't believe. For the 1991 Bulls led by Jordan, at this point, there were no excuses, and this was your year. And looking at Game 1, they came out on fire, dialed in defensively with an alpha dog mentality.
Make an early substitution and bring Aguirre back in to make the Bulls pay the price.
Watch the body language in this series too, you guys. The Bulls remain so calm. throughout. No matter what the Pistons do to them, they do not get an emotional rise. Like that, big hit, doesn't matter. Keep playing.
There's Aguirre, strip. Match with Lane Beer, and then was able to pick his pocket. Paxson again going for the steal. Edwards.
The worst thing you can do with a bully is to show them how you feel. Don't let them know that they're hurting you.
With 4:25 remaining in the first.
You stay ice cold.
Putting the move on Paxson.
Travel.
Called for a travel.
And that was caused due to Michael Jordan playing the passing lane.
Sally.
Good trap, good trap.
Good play by Pippen on a double up.
Ooh, he got away with some stuff there. Looked like he traveled fast. Or double dribble.
The difference between the Bulls double teams and a lot of other teams is the aggressiveness. Tight aggressive. Yes.
Oh, bad pass.
Oh, Thomas had a save and another steal by Jordan. Putting the move on.
A pass like that tells me they were shook a little bit there, man. Joe, that's not a normal Joe Dumars pass.
Jordan right there in the first quarter in the opening minutes set the tone like you wouldn't believe. And again, looking at Jordan's play, running side to side, up and down, really being involved in everything. This dude was possessed and on 5 Red Bulls. And for the entire Bulls team in the first quarter, I mean, they were amped up like you wouldn't believe. But looking at the Pistons, I mean, they weathered the Bulls' storm. Guys like Vinny Johnson, Mark Aguirre playing very well in the first half. Isaiah Thomas.
Look how close the shooting is. They're pretty much shooting 1-to-1.
Isaiah Thomas, kind of a non-factor, but Detroit as a team, hanging around in this game. And look at the third quarter. I mean, this game was very, very close competitive. And Jordan in the third, getting double team, triple teamed, the typical bad boy Pistons rules. And Jordan this quarter did not have a single point. He went scoreless. For Jordan this game, that was a bizarre third quarter. But I will say in his defense, he was making the right reads, the right passes, being an unselfish teammate. In the fourth quarter, that eventually paid dividends. As Craig Hodge in this game had some timely 3-pointers to give Chicago a 9-point lead.
We know the Jordan rules are based on Jordan not passing, but being the primary scorer. So it does make sense. Get everyone involved. Now what are you going to do? You can't just trap me with 5 guys every time I go down the lane, or else someone's going to punish you for it.
And when Jordan eventually returned, had 7 points in the fourth quarter, 1 dime on 5 of 6 from the line. Jordan in Game 1 versus the Pistons, much like Game 1 versus the Knicks and Philadelphia, was kind of a field game, a bizarre game. Now, when looking past Game 1, the Bulls up 1-0, Game 2, a massive opportunity. As looking at the Bulls-Pistons rivalry, one thing the Bulls have never done is go up 2-0. In this game, a prime opportunity to do just that. And looking at the first quarter, again, very, very competitive, very high energy. And looking at Joe Dumars, a suspect Game 1, had 13 points opening quarter, hitting some jaw-dropping shots. And looking at Jordan, the first half, kind of quiet, passive, being pass-first player, a team play. Jordan the first half, 8 points, the Bulls up by 1. Michael so far in the series in 6 quarters have been very, very passive. Outside the first quarter Game 1, had no real great Jordan offensive moment, iconic Jordan moment. Now, when that came, was the third quarter of Game 2.
Dude, look at him facilitate. I love it.
As Jordan this quarter, a 12-point burst to give Chicago a 15-point lead. With hindsight being 2020, that Jordan burst right there kind of changed the game, the complexion of the series. As in the fourth quarter, Detroit made a run but never got really close. And in the end, what they reverted to is fouling Jordan, intentionally fouling him at that. As in the fourth quarter, he had 15 points, 2 dimes, 1-3 shooting, and 14 free throws.
And that's the strategy, man. It's beautiful. It's beautifully executed.
And before you freak out, Jordan in the fourth quarter, yes, took 14 free throws. But look at these fouls. The majority of them are legit fouls. In the end, he was getting intentionally fouled.
And there's on Livingston. Hodges being hounded by Thomas. Jordan, what a pass. The shot won't go. It was a hard foul. Now just watch the straight backdoor by Michael. And Landry just takes him down hard. And so did Isaiah. And then Jordan with a big defensive play. And then the foul on Vinny Johnson.
Breakaway.
Joe Dumars has come back with only 3 since then. Jordan, the hang, doesn't get it, but he goes hard to the floor. Isaiah only with
with 5 or 6 here in the second half. Jordan Hangs doesn't get into here. There's your flash post. Here comes Michael on the guard around. Now, Forrest making 8 of 10. Levingston back on. Hello! Oh, it almost went down. That's a beautiful
He reached right there, huh?
As he gets fouled, he brings it behind.
That was a dumb move by Isaiah, I gotta say.
And he just flips it up on the glass. Too much time. Rodman for 3, forces it up, doesn't get it. Williams with the rebound. He comes out of the pack with it. Jordan will be fouled by Dumars. And it is a 6-point margin with 8 seconds left. Detroit out of time.
Foul again.
Henderson fouls Jordan with
I'm glad you
4
showed
points.
this, because that did stick out to me when I saw that number.
4, and this one will be in the books.
But that's the game plan. I mean, get everybody involved for 3 quarters, confuse the defense, and then in the fourth quarter, take over, man. That's it. They don't know how to play you anymore. What are you supposed to do? Keep the Jordan rules active, or just play everybody honest? You play everybody honest. MJ's got a one-on-one situation in the fourth quarter in the playoffs. That's exactly what they want.
If you're just
props to Phil Jackson, man. Props to Phil Jackson.
Watching, looking at Jordan this game, you say, he's a free throw merchant, got 14 free throws, gifted by David Stern. But look at the actual fourth quarter watching the film.
I didn't see him initiate any contact. I saw MJ doing whatever MJ was doing, and if they hit him, they hit him. If they didn't, they didn't. It's different than SGA, sorry. SGA initiates the contact all the time. Same with Luka.
Case. This Pistons team in the fourth quarter couldn't control Jordan. He got his basket whenever he wanted.
See,
Game 2 for
just
Jordan
going for a
compared to Game
layup.
1, it was a complete 180. In the second half, it was typical Michael Jordan, score first Jordan. And this game, he had 35 points.
27 of his 35 in the second half. Yeah.
7 dimes.
He did his
on
job.
50% shooting. At this point for the Pistons, I wouldn't say they're completely unraveling, but signs are definitely there. This wasn't their series, and it wasn't their year.
Man. At this stage, the bully, when it's not working, they start doing what I call just shit in their pants. They start panicking. They don't know what to do because what they're doing to you is not effective. So what do? They just start freaking out. And in this case, they're going to get a little more violent too. Yeah, you tell him, MJ. You tell him. Hold on, I want to see what... Okay, we're going to see it.
I've never seen Michael Jordan talk to the opposition during the course of the game. I think Ahmad mentioned it before the game. He's never seen him as focused as he is for this one.
Rebound. And Rodman and Jordan going at each other.
Oh, crap.
The drive just a moment ago, and this is what took place. They continued.
Is this Jordan becoming the bully at this point? He's like, I own you guys?
As they headed back down court. And then Jordan and Rodman got physical with each other. Michael in the face of Dennis.
All had happened with me and Scotty where we were running down the floor, and his idea of not being intimidated, that we bumped about the littlest bump of all day. And he looked at me and said, what the blank is wrong with you? And I'm like, Scotty, we're both trying to get up the floor. I'm trying to keep you from getting the layup. And just don't. And then my fire flew. And it was, I never challenged him to any parking lot.
His comment was, we don't have to do this right here on the court, or we can go out to the parking lot after the game. And I said, cool.
Damn.
But, we never made it there.
I love it too, man. This is old school hoops. Let's go. Let's
So,
go.
like we saw Game 1 and Game 2, on the court and off the court.
Hold up. I love it. Anybody see this and still think of the Stone Temple Pilots? Because I still do to this day. Moving on.
So, like we saw Game 1 and Game 2, on the court and off the court, Chicago was the aggressor from the first punch, second punch, and even the third punch. And past years, the Pistons, they were the aggressor, taken to Chicago. In 91, it was the complete opposite. Now, Game 3 in Detroit, of course, a big-time game, had a ton of juice. Detroit loses game, goes on 0-3, the three-peat is off the table, they go out in embarrassing fashion.
They do.
If you're a Bulls fan right here, a believer in Jordan, Pippen, Phil Jackson, Game 3, while it isn't a must-win, it could be a statement win, a legacy win. And look at the first quarter. Chicago did not shy away from the moment. They had the eye of the tiger. They were super focused. As in the first quarter, got up 21-8, absolutely blitzed Detroit. Now, fast-forwarding past halftime Detroit, of course.
Ooh, yep, and now they're starting to unravel.
They came back, clawed back, made it an 8-point game, 6-point game. They were in the game. Looking at that third quarter, guys like Vinnie Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, definitely finding their rhythm. And looking at Jordan himself, out of the Bulls' 31 points, he had 10 of them. Michael Jordan's offensive game in Game 3 was definitely rolling. By the fourth quarter, had a ton of momentum. And look at this fourth quarter. We're going to talk legacy moment, career-changing moment. This quarter for Jordan was a massive quarter. And guess how he responded? 14 points, 2 dimes, 5 of 5 shooting, and to the line, he went 4 for 5.
Work.
Michael Jordan, the biggest fourth quarter of his life up to this point, had half of the Bulls' points and tons of momentum shots, game-altering shots.
On that pick and roll, that's what the guards need to do for Detroit. Keep the dribble alive after the switch and then take them off the dribble to the basket.
Ooh.
Michael Jordan.
He spun into the double.
Here is Jordan.
Easy money.
David, one I know that you
Oh, there you go. Away from the double that time.
And Jordan, the second.
So he's killing him in the post here.
Handling now. Pippen bringing it up, taking some of the pressure. Fatigue factor as far as Michael Jordan. Let Pippen do the handling.
And Grant able to get inside.
And the ball goes right back into Michael Jordan's hands. The guy that can make it happen by scoring or finding open
What the
teammates.
hell is this play? What is this? You're getting double team trapped right here. Split. Now what? Now what's up? What do we got? We got the three of you. That's what he's got to get through. Nope. It switched up. Now we should have 4 guys to deal with. What are you gonna do now, MJ? Go right into the middle of all of them and shoot over. Like what the hell, dude? What the hell? Who is this guy?
Behind
all right, spin away.
Well, the court is down.
He went right through it.
Michael Jordan has extended the Chicago Bull lead.
So that fourth quarter right there from Jordan was an absolute masterpiece, and it was damn near perfect, going 5 for 5. But look at the defensive end. Here's the one play I think is the biggest play, this series-changing play. Michael Jordan a fast break, the Bulls up by 5 points, it's a 2-on-1, and he forces a turnover and a missed shot. Michael Jordan concedes that shot, it's a 3-point game, 1 possession, who knows what happens. Jordan gets that stop though, the 5-point lead is still there, on the other end Pippen hits a jump shot to put Chicago up 7. That right there to me personally was the biggest play of the game. Yes, the points are nice, but that one defensive stop was so key to this Bulls victory and to them win the series.
Situation, Chicago has 3, Detroit with 3, and 20. Pippen lost the dribble.
Scotty with the turnover. Oh, you're right. This is a 2-on-1 fast break. That is a big stop because that would have been a big mistake by Scottie Pippen, but he got erased by his homeboy.
Comes up with it. Think about that. 2-on-1 by himself. Michael Jordan with the bad knee gets back there to break it up.
Nice pass. Okay, Pip.
Here's Pippen. The crowd was looking for a travel.
All right, clock's running up.
Pippen.
There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's your redemption right there, Pip.
Big bucket for Scottie Pippen.
Big time bucket.
Stop the ball, recover on the next
big time
you
stop.
Buy yourself 1-on-3, and yet you wind up coming up with the ball, and as a result, getting the score at the other end for your team.
Instead of
that's why I love the playoffs, man. Everything matters.
5-point differential, it's a 6-point lead, and Jordan to the line with 39 seconds.
Yeah, you notice no one's celebrating. They don't celebrate till the job's done.
So look
that's
at
a championship team.
In Detroit, the Bulls up 3-0. I mean, we all know that the Bulls are going to win the series eventually. They can win in 5, 6, and hopefully not 7. But here's the one thing you got to look at. If they beat Detroit 4-0, that's not just winning the series, that's a statement, a legacy-changing moment. So while the stakes are lower than Game 3, legacy-wise, they're still pretty high. And
I
look
mean,
at
considering that this is not only their nemesis, but the 2-time back-to-back champions, they're dethroning. They're not just dethroning these guys; they're throwing them off the mountain. Like it's wild that they did what they did here.
For Game 4, I mean, both teams still playing hard. Detroit not rolling over. During the first quarter, the first half of the first quarter, had 4 points. Others involved, being a team player. The first half of the first quarter was typical playoff basketball, hard basketball. Where things changed, though, was a foul on John Paxson by Bill Lambier.
And Purdue up front. Nice play at
man. Come on. I don't remember this one. Yeah, okay, yeah. Try to convince me you're going for the ball there, Bill. Yeah, that's a play on the ball. That's why we created flagrant fouls, because of you, bud.
And Lambier taking a shot at Paxson, who did not like it. John Paxson went back at Bill Lambier, and Brendan Sir. Paxson wide open.
You get what you get, Bill. You get what you get.
Again, Paxson open.
He opened up with a good first quarter, only because they decided to double team Michael Jordan. We're going to see Lambier come over and double team him, and it's really going to open it up for John Paxson on the weak side. Jordan spread the defense, balls over to Paxson. That happens to be his shot. He loves that shot, and anytime he can get that shot, he'll bury it.
Now look at the second quarter. They picked on
John Paxson to this day, man.
But couldn't rattle. So who do they go to next? Scottie Pippen. And Pippen this game...
Dude, they throw someone out for that crap these days.
Absolute warrior. Rodman, Lambier, both taking shots at him, and dirty shots at that. But Pippen, through all this, didn't respond, get antagonized, didn't do anything stupid to ruin this game full.
Yeah, they all stay poised. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. This is the one where they needed to convince Pippen to basically agree to having Rodman join the team because of this one right here, I do believe. Like, that's just cheap.
Flagrant foul.
Like, okay. This is one of those situations. How do you not get thrown out for this? Okay? Let's watch it again.
To ruin this game full.
And Scottie Pippen up for a beautiful backdoor pass for Pippen.
Like, the whistle's blown, the play is over, and then you're just going to two-hand shove him. Like, I love Rodman, but this is not a basketball play. You're going to shove him down. Like, look at this. This is terrible. It's not basketball, man. That's a bar fight.
And he is walloped. And that will be a flagrant foul. And it's getting very, very tough out there. Again, an unnecessary hit taken by the Pistons.
And there was a real hard foul. A great backdoor
he already got
play
hacked.
that the Bulls love to run.
He got hacked
and
twice.
They really let the guy have it.
And throw him into the freaking metal chairs. Like this is straight up like Rodzilla, WWE.
Did push
NWO. Like, that's a bad enough hack, dude.
That's a
he got elbowed in the face. He got hit in the back of the head by Rodman.
Clear cut, cheap shot. No question. Suffered by Scottie Pippen. There's another look at it.
I got to give Pippen props on this one for getting up and not showing it. Not showing how much pain he was in. You know he had to be hurt here.
Marr that
he got hit
really
3 times here.
And I think what has happened is this. I think that the frustration of the Pistons is really coming out.
And this first half of the Bulls,
like I said, the bully is out of tricks, and now it's shitting its pants.
This
got
was
nothing
after
else
the
to do.
Confrontation,
Nothing
and you
is
can
working.
see Rodman trying to impede the progress of
Nothing's
Pippen.
working.
But a more revealing stat, the unofficial Showtime cheap shot scoreboard. If, in fact, the Pistons are going out today, they're going out in a blaze of bad boydom.
Yeah.
We have 8 cheap shots for the Pistons to 1 for Chicago. Cartwright weighed in with the 1 Bulls cheap shot. We got Rodman with 5, having an outstanding first half, and Lambier with 2 cheap shots.
It's not about being physical today, obviously, Bob. It's not about intimidation. It's not about aggressiveness. What it's about, more than anything else, is to try to provoke the Bulls to sort of get out of their game.
It is.
Okay, the officials can't call every guy for a foul, so it takes them right out of their offense. The Bulls got flattened out for a while, but right here, I think you're seeing the Chicago Bulls of the future. It hasn't bothered them because they're still 7 points ahead. So they're being provoked and they're hanging tough right in there.
Mental toughness, everybody. Mental toughness.
Look at that first half right there with the Pistons. I mean, they were absolutely floundering and grasping for straws. And again, to the Bulls' credit, they did not take the bait, not once. Chicago this game, it was an absolute masterclass. And Jordan in the third quarter put them away fairly early and did it surgically.
Shot clock is at 5. Adding with McGuire again. He's kept it only 3 shots.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that was
this
early.
play.
Here's Jordan in the race with Thomas. The Bulls now by 14. defense, the crowd, Cartwright.
Nice shot, Bill.
Trap every help situation.
Nice fake by Jordan. Goes to the scoop. Teams Boston Celtics of the 60s. Difficult regular season because of all the injuries suffered.
Love that sound.
At a Chicago Bulls club that is attempting to sweep them to end the season. And Pippen. Jordan changed his mind and was able to find Grant.
Well, it's been that way all day long, Mark. Jordan is just looking. He'll score if he has to, but he would rather feed the ball off.
And Pippen able to feed it off to Jordan.
So that right there is the ending of Game 4, and quite honestly, kind of anticlimactic. As looking at the final fourth quarter, we're the only thing
people want to push this Detroit kind of basketball out. I don't feel we're overconfident, but we want to kill this team.
It was the Pistons walking off the court early. Besides that, it was complete and utter domination. And look at this Pistons team, 30 plus years later, them having lost. Hindsight is always 20/20. And with them losing, what can you easily say? But you know, the Bulls, they were young, Detroit was old, they were washed up, it was Chicago's time. To a certain extent, that is true. The Bulls were ready to win. But if you think Detroit was old, that's patently untrue.
Look at this.
The Pistons' main core: Joe Dumars, 27, Isaiah, 29, Rodman, also 29.
You can argue most of these guys are in their prime. 29 years old, you're good to go, man. You're good to go for 5, 6 more years usually.
For the Pistons, that was their main core, their three best players. Underneath them, John Sally, 26, Aguirre, 31, Lambier, 33, and Vinnie Johnson, who was 34. This Pistons team right here, a great mix of guys in their late 20s and early 30s.
Well, we're down 2-0, and yeah, we got to win 4 of the next 5, but 3 of the next 4 games are in our building. And we feel very confident that we'll win basketball games at home. We still have to go to Chicago, though, and get a win if we somehow want to come out of this series. But, you know, it's the playoffs, and that's why you play 7 games.
3 days later.
Runs down. Pistons wasting no time in getting out of here. Now
sore loser.
They left the bench, although the 7 and 9, 10 seconds remaining. The Pistons just left.
When they walked off the court.
And what is it? 35 years later, Isaiah Thomas is still salty about it. Like, even though he's the one who did it, he was the sore loser. 35 years later, he's still salty about all of this.
Before the game was over, what were you guys thinking?
They showed their true colors. They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the answer I was looking for. I mean, you know, for the first 3 or 4 years that we faced this team, every time they would knock us out, I mean, it hurt us to go over there and shake their hands. We showed the sportsmanship that, you know, to support them from the Eastern Conference to go on and be successful. And we just knew, because of their personality and the way that they, you know, their rivalry against us, that they weren't going to pay the same respects back. But they didn't have to, because we knew that we dominated the series and we knew we were over that hump.
For this Pistons team in 1991, you can have all the excuses in the world that they were old, they were tired, they were fatigued. But looking to go into this season, they're the betting odd favorites to three-peat and win the title. Looking at Dennis Rodman, had trilogy cut into his hair. And entering Game 3, Isaiah Thomas and John Sally, they were saying me down 0-2.
Yeah, but the irony is they said Magic was old too. The Lakers were old.
You know, it was no big deal. Detroit, prior to losing, was up to the battle.
They didn't say that back then. We weren't idiots back then. But now LeBron fans who have no idea what was going on at this time, that's what they say.
The only problem is the Bulls. They're more primed and ready and more stacked than they were in 88, 89, and even 1990. And here's one thing I do want to point out. Michael Jordan's path to even get to the Pistons, it was always tough and super competitive. Look at 1988, the round prior to facing Detroit. Versus the Cavaliers, 45.2 points, 30.4 shot attempts on 55.9% shooting. Michael Jordan in that series exerted tons of energy. 1991, the first round series was an absolute breeze. Look at 88, the first 2 rounds combined, 11 total games. Jordan's scoring average, 37.5. Field goal attempts, 24.2, and percentage above 50%. Looking at Michael Jordan versus the Cavs and Knicks, he had to ball out to even make the East Finals. And look at 1990, even with Phil's triangle offense in place for the first season. The first rounds of the playoffs, Jordan carried Chicago like you wouldn't believe. Points per game, 40.2. Field goal attempts, 28.8, and percentage, 54.4. For 1991 Jordan, that's the big time difference. And the first 2 rounds of energy expended wasn't comparable to 88, 89, or 1990.
As a leader, you got to find different ways to try to get yourself involved in the game. And I think with this team, it's very important to get everybody else involved, get their minds certainly feeling that they can make a contribution to this team. I feel that at any point in time, I can step up and give my contribution. But I'd much rather see them give that output, and then maybe I can help them out in any way possible. So this series, I'm basically going to do the same thing. I'm going to look around and see what these guys are going to do and see if they're going to step up and give us that offensive output and defensive output, and then just try to implement my skills somewhere in between.
Later.
Now, looking past the Detroit series, which is absolute domination, in the NBA Finals, Jordan's first final appearance, his opponent, of course, was Magic Johnson and the LA Lakers. And look at this rivalry, it had been building for quite some time.
Magic was old. Get out of town, you guys. He's 3 years older than MJ. Like, I don't understand this whatsoever. I believe he was number 2 in MVP voting as well. Only second to this guy right here. So, like, it's so stupid, these modern narratives that are being formed by people who weren't alive to watch what was going on while it was happening. And then they're just forming their own BS narratives.
I was looking at 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91. The MVP all those years with either Magic or Jordan. At this point for NBA fans, the 2 best players, it was unanimous. Michael Jordan and Magic. The question remained, who was the actual best player in the world, the greatest player alive? Looking at someone like Magic, he had the experience, the championships, the overall pedigree. And looking at 1991, leading up to the NBA Finals, he was playing at an all-time great level. Points per game, 22.9. Assists, 12.7. And rebounds, 8.1.
Those numbers are crazy, man. Because this is the era where, it was no more Kareem, so the team asked him to step up and score more points. But look at him. He's still getting 13 assists while he does it. And 8 rebounds. And he's getting it done with the steals. Get out of here, dude.
Magic did this run to the NBA Finals versus Golden State Warriors, scored 44 points, a career playoff high, and versus Portland had 21 assists, the 3rd highest mark of his career. This guy in 1991, he wasn't washed, wasn't old, wasn't on the verge of retirement.
Crushing it.
The NBA is a league of stars, and none shine brighter than Magic Johnson and
Why do you
Michael
think
Jordan.
it hurt so bad for us when we found out he had HIV and he had to step away from the game? Dude, I mean, he only came in the league in 79, and this is 91, and he's out. Like, that's not a full career. He had another 5 years of good basketball left in him. It's just unfortunate. It got taken away from all of us, including himself, because of that virus.
And while much has been said about their respective teams, nothing has been more anticipated than their individual matchup. It's a dream that's taken 7 years to fulfill, with each player traveling his own. Michael and Magic in the finals began to take shape. Yet Jordan still wondered if the Bulls had enough talent to advance to the next level.
Now, looking at Game 1 Bulls versus Lakers, again for the Bulls franchise, uncharted waters. Looking at their overall...
me and my brother and the media and we all thought the Lakers were going to win this, especially after Game 1. We really thought, okay, this is the next level for the Bulls. Next year, the Bulls will have this experience in the finals. One last lesson to learn from Magic Johnson, and they'll be primed and ready to win by next year. That's really what we thought.
And a single Bulls player had finals experience. Looking at the Lakers, almost the exact opposite. Now focusing on MJ versus MJ, of course Jordan's matchup was guarding Magic. Magic defensively wasn't guarding MJ. For the Lakers, that makes sense, and for the Bulls, it also makes sense. So looking at the first quarter, MJ doing his thing on both ends, scoring effectively, and also guarding Magic. Jordan the first quarter of Game 1, his first finals quarter, 15 points, 5 dimes, 7-10 shooting. In the first quarter, responsible for 25 of the Bulls' 30 points. Magic, with Jordan guarding him offensively, only had one shot attempt, and he missed that shot. Looking at the marquee matchup, Michael versus Magic, in the first half, it was completely lopsided in Michael's favor. And the Bulls at halftime, of course, they were up. Now, third quarter Chicago, they go absolute ice cold, under 30% shooting. And the quarter had 15 points, 7 of which come from Jordan. The Bulls right here, on pretty thin ice, they're playing shaky. And heading into the fourth quarter, LA is up by 7 points. Now, Mike in the fourth quarter shows up and carries the Bulls. 13 points, 3 dimes, 5 of 9 shooting, and perfect from the line. Jordan in the fourth quarter, the majority of the quarter, was absolutely perfect. But in the final moments, came up short in his finals debut.
And Johnson, Bulls by 2. You see the clock running down.
Nice pass. Nice look.
He's got it. Pippen must get it, and he does. And here's Jordan.
And no excuses. MJ had a good look. He had the look he wanted right there. It just didn't drop.
3 seconds remaining.
For this Bulls team going to Game 1 of the NBA Finals, they only lost 1 game all postseason, and at home were undefeated.
I didn't think about it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, it makes a lot of sense. They must have been thinking, holy crap, we were 1 jump shot away from beating this team. We could beat these guys, you know?
So losing Game 1 at home, a pretty devastating blow, and Jordan missing the game winner added fuel to the fire. If you were an anti-Jordan guy, didn't think he was a winner, Game 1 validated a lot of criticisms. As looking at Jordan's stats, 36 points, 12 dimes, 8 boards, he shot 58%. But of course in the end, they lost with Jordan carrying them offensively. If you were an anti-Jordan guy, right here was your moment to plant your flag that Magic Johnson was a better player and will always be greater.
I think that you've got to go with Magic because no player has ever been able to control the tempo like he has. The only way the Bulls are going to get around that, I believe, is if they press him full court.
I mean, back then it was an easy pick to pick Magic. A 5-time champion versus a guy who's never seen the NBA Finals before. Yeah, it made absolute sense to pick the Lakers in this situation. I mean, we did it too. Who wouldn't? You know, who wouldn't in this case? I'm trying to think of another example, but like, who else has won 5 championships? You know, it's hard to say. I'm thinking about Kobe, but even that's not the same, you know, because it was like 2 completely different teams that were doing that. So I don't even know. This is a unique situation, but yeah, it was proven. The Lakers proved it 5 times that they're champions. They can get this done. The Bulls have never proved this before, not until here.
Series. Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers have players who have played in 140 final games. The Chicago Bulls have had no player play in the finals. I think it's going to come down to experience. It will be a 7-game win for the Lakers.
There it is.
Well, for whatever it's worth, the last team to win an NBA championship on the franchise's first trip to the finals was Bill Walton's Trailblazers in 1977. If you want to make a small distinction.
Say that again, Bob.
For it's worth, the last team to win an NBA championship on the franchise's first trip to the finals was Bill Walton's Trailblazers in 1977.
I didn't know that. Wow. Makes me feel a little better that my Suns are 0-3 in the finals.
If you want to make a small distinction, the last team to win on its first trip to the finals with an essentially new cast was the Lakers in 1980.
Now, looking at Game 2 of the series for the Lakers, their pressure's off them, and the Bulls have to win this game. They go down 0-2, losing both games at home.
Boom.
The series is effectively over, and the absolute best, their percentage of winning, is very, very low. And looking at the first quarter, the Bulls' credit, they came out on fire, as in the first period, 65% shooting, they were firing on all cylinders. Up until the mid-second quarter of this game, it was going as planned. If you're a Bulls fan, you were thrilled.
Good trap.
And one thing you do have to mention, Michael Jordan in the second quarter got in foul trouble and was taken off Magic and sent to the bench. After that moment, Scottie Pippen took the assignment of guarding Magic. And how he did, I would say, was pretty well. Some of these plays, Pippen picking up full court, giving Magic tons of trouble. In other plays, Magic gets by Pippen and has his way with him in the post, very similar to when Mike was guarding. The overall notion Pippen shut down Magic Johnson, I really don't buy it.
I always stick. I mean, just from watching it, it was like they're taking turns, depending on who's in foul trouble, depending on fatigue levels. You know, that's the point of having two lockdown perimeter defenders like this. You could switch off.
Watching the game film, it's simply not there outside of a few clips you see go viral every single week. And look at the Bulls' lead. Prior to Jordan going out with foul trouble, they were up by 5 points. When Jordan came back, the lead was still 5 points. The real big-time difference maker this game was when Michael Jordan came back in the game and he got on a heater. In the final 5 minutes of the half, Jordan, 8 points, 2 dimes on 4-4 shooting. Jordan right there to close the half offensively was simply flawless. And look at the third quarter, upped his game even more. As in the third quarter was a perfect 7-7 shooting.
Okay.
That 5-point lead was now
all right, he
17.
made up for it.
The actual real changing moment of this game wasn't Pippen guarding Magic, but Michael Jordan get on a heater and the entire Bulls team rolling after the mid-second quarter.
Now, it would be more fair to say that Pippen held down the fort while Jordan was on the bench. But we got to create stupid narratives, you know, and that creates these debates. But why can't we just tell the truth? When MJ was on the bench, Pippen stepped in and did his job, and he did it damn well. Can't we just say it? Can't we just give them both credit?
Jordan's second half from the field, 11 of 12 shooting.
And I'm not ripping on Uncut. I'm ripping on the fanboys out there.
9.3 dimes, 4 of 5 shooting, and a 1 of 1 from the line.
Michael Jordan, yes.
Shout out to whoever's still with me, man.
One of his first 3 from the field.
We're taking this one to the end.
12 for 14.
I read shots, try and get some easy scores themselves.
And here's Jordan.
And real quick, guys, go check out Uncut's channel. Link is down below in the description of this video. The amount of work he's putting into these videos is freaking phenomenal. Phenomenal work that he's doing here. As a Jordan fan, this is it's a gift every time he drops one of these.
Jordan giving it up. Pippen. Yes. 1 for 9. The look away.
Get up.
Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move.
All right, so that's when he scored, what, 13 unanswered points up until that point? 13.
Now look, to be very, very transparent, Pippen guarding Magic was a factor. It happened, you can't deny it. When it comes to the overall narrative of Game 2, this game historically has been completely rewritten. As looking at Jordan's hot streak, 13 made shots in a row, the longest streak in NBA Finals history. And looking at Finals games in general, with 15 more shot attempts, Jordan ranked second all-time in field goal percentage at 83.3%.
83 as a jump shooter is stupid.
Only behind Adrian Dantley. So look, when talking about Game 2 historically, is the Pippen guarding Magic thing a factor? Yeah. Of course it is. I've said it over and over again. But the headline of this game is pretty simple. The Bulls offense stole the show, and Michael Jordan was the
That's why
catalyst.
I like you, Uncut, man, because it's really not that hard to give both people credit. It's a team. You know, there's 5 guys on the court. It's fair. It's not always just one dude all the time. You know, like that's silly. But to just give Pippen all the credit all of a sudden, like some people are trying to do, is ridiculous here. Because I mean, there's 2 sides of the ball here, right? What's MJ doing on the offensive end? He's having the finals night of his life here.
And here's one thing I do want to note very quickly. Looking at Jordan's first 2 finals games, he was brilliant individually. Scoring-wise, 34.5 points. Assists, 12.5. And from the field, damn near 70%. Michael Jordan the first 2 games offensively, and heck, even defensively, was the only Bulls player showed up in both those games. And looking at Game 1 specifically, and the Bulls team outside of Jordan, they were completely rattled.
Well, we mentioned earlier that several Chicago Bulls candidly admitted that they were nervous going into Game 1, and I talked about that with Bill Cartwright.
Guys were definitely tight, and obviously I've never been in this type of situation before, and none of our guys has. And it's a learning experience.
Mike, it is so rare where players will admit that they were nervous and tentative.
But it's Magic and Worthy and you know, all the experience, and who are these guys? I predict the Bulls are going to win in 5. And there's just this outrage in the media, sort of how dare you, it's an insult to the Lakers.
I'm surprised he made that pick. Wow, good pick, man.
These guys. There was all these unwritten rules in sports, and the unwritten rule is sort of you got to get to the finals before you can win.
Honestly, it does make sense. It does make sense. I totally understand whenever a team loses their first NBA Finals appearance. It's a whole different stage.
My teammates were very nervous in the first game, and I felt that they were going to come back and be relaxed. And you saw it tonight. They were very relaxed. They took their shots. They did all the necessary things to make us a more effective team.
One of the things that you said you wanted to show the Lakers was the fact that you guys could beat them. You did that this evening.
Yeah, I think it was very important for us to get this game going.
Yikes, I forgot, man. They beat them. They sure as hell did. That's a statement.
Them that, we can play a lot better than what we played in game one. Everybody really contributed, and we were able to win the game.
I think that their first game, there were nerves all over the place, and they lost by what, like 2 points? 2 points, something like that. It went right down to the wire. It was basically relying on that Jordan jump shot that didn't drop. And in game 2, they win by over 20. I think 21 points we just saw. That's a big difference, man. Big, big difference. That's a confidence boost.
Los Angeles in a 2-3-2 format, Game 3 in LA was a pivotal game where the winner of this match had a tremendous advantage. And looking at Jordan in the first half, a big carryover from Game 2 where he was on fire. In the first quarter, 11 points, out of the entire Bulls team responsible for 15 of their 25. Michael Jordan's first quarter, heck, even his first half, he was offensively dominant.
Lakers are shooting great offensively, though, here.
Magic, the exact same thing. And I will note right here, Michael Jordan, yes, was still guarding Magic. The great Pippen switch after Game 2 is a complete
I know, and I was surprised because I keep bringing up the Horace Grant podcast because it was really interesting. A lot of cool stories. But even he fed into that. When they were talking about 91, he was like, yeah, and then when we put Pippen on Magic, that changed the whole series. And I'm like, do you remember the series, or are you just going off of The Last Dance like many people are? Because I don't know. I don't know. The thing is we used to always give Pippen credit for his contributions in this finals, but then now they're not real anymore. It's been elevated to like this myth status of what he did, and it's causing a lot of people who watched it to get a little defensive on it because it's like it wasn't what they're saying it was. Did he play great defense? Yeah, he does every game. He's one of the greatest defenders, especially in the perimeter, I've ever seen. But did he lock down Magic for a whole series in the finals? No, he didn't. That's not what happened.
And you're going to get teammates.
Whenever he was on Magic, he did a good job, though. Yeah, he definitely. So did MJ.
Teammates rather, but basically it's still you against him in the matchup. It has its effects on you. Use up a lot of energy.
Like, this was Magic's worst nightmare.
Jordan's a pretty good player himself defensively when he's playing against you.
Especially in a time where Magic is supposed to be a scorer. You saw he was averaging about 23 points a game this season. That's what his team needed to win. But then you're going to lock him up like this. I mean, he's a great facilitator. We all know this, but
your role defensively on Magic,
if you're going to take away his points, it's a big deal.
Game 2.
Well, it's helped us out a lot. I think Michael realized that by stepping up and putting a lot more pressure on Magic, and I think that's why Phil stuck with Michael, because he was able to put a lot more pressure than what he did in Game 1.
Rain, his second field goal. He's 2 out of 5. Here's the pressure on Johnson. Perkins back to help out. Tough to tell the effect Magic Johnson has chased in game.
By the way, you guys, Magic's the point guard, Jordan's the shooting guard. Jordan's intentionally taking this matchup.
Michael with 9 points.
Nice trap.
Through the first rounds of the playoffs, we're going to look at it right here. His turnover to assist ratio, first 12 playoff games, 3.7. That's exceptional. Even better than his outstanding regular season. But in the finals, the assist to turnover ratio is 2.2, and he's averaging 5 turnovers per game. He's not only been outscored by Michael Jordan, which was expected, but Jordan has more assists.
That's the storyline right there, Bob. That's what defines this whole series.
Fast forward to that third quarter in Los Angeles, they catch fire, going an 18-2 run, and up by as many as 13 points. And looking at Chicago, I mean, they were ice cold, couldn't hit a damn thing, as at one point had 9 straight misses. The Bulls right here, very similar to Game 1, were choking in the biggest moment. But due to some key contributions, mainly the bench, Chicago would scrap back, claw back, to eventually it was anyone's ball game. In the final 11 seconds, the game completely changed. As Scottie Pippen fouled Vlade Divac, he got an and one, and the Lakers were up by 2 points. This right here for the Bulls is your worst nightmare. Michael Jordan, he's ice cold. The team outside the bench, also ice cold, and Pippen
and once
is
again,
fouled out.
history, I don't know why, man. All this history revisionist crap, people want to pretend like Vlade Divac was not good. Like the Lakers were not good. That's what the narrative is supposed to be. And I don't understand. Because when Kareem was on his way out his last couple of years, guys, he wasn't producing like this. He wasn't giving you 24, 6, and shooting 11 for 15. No disrespect to him, but he was really old at that point. He wasn't the same Kareem anymore. So them getting Vlade Divac was an upgrade. That's and we want to pretend like, no, it's because they didn't have Kareem anymore. You guys don't get it.
Michael Jordan, prior to this next play, had gone 2 for 11 in the second half, and his job right here was pretty simple. Toss that to the side and tie up this game, bring us to OT. And Jordan did just that.
Remaining Craig Hodges, the three-point specialist, has checked in. Here's Jordan on the pull-up. Yes! And the game is tied at 92 with 3 4/10 seconds remaining.
This is a full court time running down floater that he also gets up over Divac,
who comes flying at him.
And when you watch the replay from like the baseline on it, that's an insane shot.
Ironically enough, too, nowadays with the high five rule, that would have been a foul. Let's see. Let's watch it nice and slow. Oop, camera. Oh, no. I'm wrong.
On it. That's an insane shot.
The delay of game to give. Divac. Jordan knocked it away. Scott got it off. And we go to overtime.
This game, if he misses that shot, they're playing 2 days later on a Sunday. He's just had a shitty game. Everybody's like, wow, Michael Jordan doesn't have it. Not tough enough. Doesn't choked. Stage a little too big for him. It's still Magic and Birds League. Now there's all this pressure on that Game 4, and there was a possibility where he could have kind of gone to the dark side. I do think this series could have flipped if the Lakers win this game. I think it could have been very similar to that 88 finals where the Pistons lose the series, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened?
True.
That shot right there from MJ in Game 3, that's one of the biggest shots of his career that never gets mentioned. As for 1 second, let's say Jordan misses that shot, the Bulls lose Game 3. Now they're down.
That's a good point.
2-1.
I guess we could call this his first truly clutch finals shot.
That for the series is a major swing. And look at Jordan's legacy in the NBA Finals through 3 games. Game 1 brooks the game winner. Game 2 comes back strong, but in Game 3 again, chokes and missed the game-tying shot. Right here for Michael Jordan, if he missed that shot, the media scrutiny would have been off the charts. And for the Bulls team very easily, they could have gotten rattled due to youth and inexperience. Now, looking at OT this game, still not over, the Bulls could lose. But looking at Jordan OT, out of nowhere, heated up, had 6 points, 1 dime, 2 of 3 shooting, and perfect from the line. Jordan OT, half the Bulls' points. And compared to Los Angeles, I was with him by himself, 6-4.
Wow. One thing that's going to bother the Bulls, just during that last play, Michael Jordan hurt the tip of his big toe. They've taken it up, taken a look at it, and it's going to be painful, but he'll try to go with it. Marv?
Magic Johnson slow to get up. Exit. The best of 7. NBA Championship Series.
Nice
Here's
move.
Jordan. Yes! Michael Jordan left in overtime.
Oh, no, there you go, baseline.
The spin by
Beautifully
Jordan.
read.
And hits on the reverse. Shots, they were able to settle down. They closed strong in the third to get back into it.
That right there from OT is the brilliance of Michael Jordan. As even during a bad game, a terrible half, in the biggest moments, he rises to the occasion.
You have a bad game or not, but the guy is still clutch no matter what.
And again, look at the first 3 games, how close Game 1 and Game 3 were. Game 1, Sam Perkins hits the shot, Jordan misses. Game 3 goes to OT, and the Bulls win off a razor-thin margin with Pippen on the bench, out of the game. This for the 91 finals was a turning point in the series. As looking at this game, it was a slog and an absolute battle toward the very end. And looking at Jordan, he put in a very tough 52 minutes and injured his toe in the process. Now looking at Game 4 in Los Angeles for the Lakers, this game, a must-win game. Go down 3-1, it's effectively over. And for the Lakers team, well, they were mentally tough at veteran leadership. In Game 4, some big-time cracks in their foundation. And in the first quarter, Michael Jordan again came on fire, facilitating, getting guys involved. And the Bulls, they were rolling. And Jordan in the second quarter came up scoring pretty heavily, having 12 points in the quarter, only sitting for a single minute. And to top it off, had a buzzer beater that deflated the entire Lakers team. I mean, look at this body language. An 8-point halftime deficit, and the Lakers look dead, defeated, on the verge of collapse. I'm telling you, that Game 3 overtime loss changed the entire series, the complexion of this championship round. And looking at that third quarter, again Jordan going for the kill, as in the quarter had 10 points.
Oh, he got
playing great defense, Adams offense, and being very unselfish.
I love that Horace was always going for those blocks too.
And due to the Bulls' dominance in the fourth quarter, I mean, it was a no contest. They ran away with this game.
Jackpot. Mid-range. Dang. He stepped in.
The Bulls with a 12-point lead. Jordan to the fadeaway. Jordan from deep.
For the Lakers, they just can't come up with the ball when they need it most. Jordan.
Man, I miss this era so much. I just miss mid-range.
Big numbers.
Everyone is a sniper now.
Throughout the playoffs.
There's no warriors, there's no frontline warriors anymore. Everyone just snipes.
Game 4 right there in Los Angeles was the least competitive game of the series, and the game the Bulls finally broke the Lakers. As looking at this veteran-led team, both Scott and Worthy for Game 5 were out of the lineup. If you're a Bulls fan, that kind of sucks, but injuries happen, it's a part of the game. So Game 5 in Los Angeles, not a Hollywood ending, but still a pretty good game watching it back. As looking at guys like Eldon Campbell, Tony Smith, surprisingly had great games, despite being very inexperienced. And look at the halftime score, LA up by 1 point, and very much in this game. And fast forward to the fourth quarter, again very competitive, anyone's ball game. Michael in the fourth quarter, 7 points, 3 dimes, 3 of 6 shooting, 1 for 2 from the line. For a Michael Jordan fourth quarter,
I mean, good, not great, because that would put him on an average for 28 points in that game, and 12 assists. Actually, it's really not bad. It's really not bad. 50% shooting, free throws, whatever, 1 for 2.
Speaking fourth quarter, those stats they don't do it
for
justice.
Anybody else, that's amazing, but for Michael Jordan in the playoffs, not his best performance, I guess.
As looking at Jordan this fourth quarter, I mean, the Lakers defense went all out to stop Jordan. Anyone will beat you but Michael Jordan. And Jordan, to his credit, came full circle, made the right pass, and made the winning plays.
Well,
yeah, because that would have paced him for an average of 16 assists. So, yeah, that makes sense. So he was facilitating.
Always, and get rid of is that stigma of a one-man team. We've been trying to get rid of that stigma for a while. A lot of you guys say it's my fault because of the way I play offensively. But maybe it is. Who knows? But now, we can't live on that stigma anymore. We got players surrounding myself, and it can give a contribution and make us an effective basketball team. And on national television in the finals, we did it as a team. All season long, we did it as a team, and you got to give my teammates all the credit. I played my game. I played my consistent game, but with the efforts that they gave us, we were a better team.
The more confidence Michael's got in the players around him, the better we become.
Pax 9 for 12 in Game 5. Damn, man.
Tell you what, I'm happy for Michael because a lot of great players in this league get labeled. They don't want the championship, they get labeled as the guy that couldn't win it, and he'll never have to worry about that.
That Game 5 victory right there in Los
There's
Angeles.
so many players that I've liked throughout history that it breaks my heart when they don't win one. You know, Steve Nash, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing. Like, there's so many of them, man. It breaks my heart when they don't get it because, yeah, that is what they're going to get labeled as forever.
Was symbolic for a couple of reasons. I was looking at Jordan's stat line. Not the most gaudy Jordan stat line, but all around, it was complete dominance. 30 points, 10 assists, and 5 steals. On very good shooting. What this game didn't require was a 40-50 point bomb and 35 shots. For Jordan right here, a full circle moment. And looking at Scottie Pippen, also very, very impressive. As of the entire game, was actually leading scorer with 32 points. In Scottie's finals career, that is the highest point total he would ever record. Then, of course,
30. What?
John Paxson, the man of the fourth quarter.
Who's open, MJ? Who's open, MJ? Pax.
20 points. In his finals career, the most ever, out of playoff games, tied for the second most of his career. This right here for a Bulls fan is about as good an ending as you possibly have. As looking at the entire team, everyone had their moment and their time to shine. And top to bottom, it was complete and utter dominance from Game 1 versus New York to Game 5
They stayed
versus
poised
LA.
the whole time. And I remember shortly after this, they all showed up on Oprah, and it was a huge party.
The Lakers are tested, experienced in these situations. The Bulls are in the finals for the first time.
Now the Bulls are experienced
The
too.
Chicago Bulls' domination of this series has to be considered a major surprise. Mike, there was no reason to believe that the Lakers would fall apart so dramatically.
I think it was a combination
I
of
mean,
things.
if they were going against a team that was unproven in the finals, that's one thing. But to go against this Laker team and to win on the first try, that's what's crazy about it. 5-time champion against 0-time, and the 0-time champion beats them on the first try. That's crazy. That is really just unheard of.
Everyone gave the Bulls the credit they deserved throughout the season. I think everyone felt the balance of power was in the West this year, that Portland, in fact, was the best team, and when the Lakers got by them, that the Lakers then were just going to put the Bulls away. But the Bulls team was a deceiving team.
Of Magic, it is universally said he makes his teammates better. Of Jordan, it was too often believed he makes his teammates disappear. So afraid at first to let them fail, he finally understood how to make them succeed.
For this 1991 Bulls team winning a championship, in hindsight looking at their roster, you know, having Jordan, Pippen, Phil Jackson, all these guys with prestige, Hall of Fame legacies, it makes their title run look pretty predictable and expected.
It started here.
Back in 91, that was really not the case. As even versus the Pistons was kind of a toss-up, and versus LA, you know, they had the experience, they were the older team, the veteran team. This 91 Bulls team in the moment overcame several demons, and for Jordan individually, what are the critics saying from 85 to 1990? Michael Jordan scoring 30 points per game will never win a championship. And look at the precedent. 1941-91, NBA champions averaging 30 points per game, there's only 4. George and Mike in 1949, Mike in 1950, Kareem in 1980, and Jordan in 1991. Looking at that list right there, what stands out? Of course, only 3 players, but look at the gap, Mikan to Kareem to Jordan. The odds of a player pulling this off, averaging 30 points per game, winning a championship, was damn near
What position
impossible.
did Mikan play? I don't know anymore. Was he a big? I don't think he was a big, was he?
A guard doing it had never been
Say it
done.
again. Sorry, I should have just not paused.
Was damn near impossible. A guard doing it had
There's my
never
answer.
been done. For 91 Jordan, that is the biggest takeaway.
And Michael Jordan has answered a couple of questions. There have been doubters over the years whether a team led by Jordan could win a championship, and it is so rare for a team that has a scoring champion to go the distance.
Also, one thing I do want to touch on, when it comes to Jordan's scoring-passing combo, I mean, 91 Jordan technically wasn't a point guard, but at the same time, he kind of was. And looking at their history, Jordan being combo guard, averaging 8 assists and Finals MVP, that is a rarity in league history. Look at this list right here of players from the MVP, averaging 8 assists or more per game. Magic, 3 times, the GOAT point guard. Jokic, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Walt Frazier. Looking at that list right there, who is the only player on that list as a stigma of being a score-first player and only a scorer? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Now, speaking of scoring, that passing-scoring combo was deadly. And looking at that list, ranking them by points per game, who was the top two?
Awesome.
91 Jordan, 31.1 points per game, and Nikola Jokic at 30.0. And look at that final series versus Magic, the greatest point guard of all time. Prior to Game 5, Michael Jordan was having more assists than Magic Johnson. Jordan at that point was a walking 31-12. After Game 5, his average for the series was 11.4, nearly outdoing Magic, who was at 13. If Michael Jordan for his NBA career was a clear point guard in the vein of John Stockton and Magic Johnson, his overall stats and numbers could have been 10 times better. In terms of triple-doubles, he could have gotten them
and the proof is
whenever
in the
he
pudding.
wanted.
Just go and see when he was point guard for that stretch, and he was basically averaging a 30-point triple-double. The stats don't mean jack, though. Winning is everything.
Now, looking past these simple stats like points, rebounds, assists, to the more advanced metrics during this run, he is all-time dominant. The highest PR in any title run in NBA history. First, George Mikan.
Nice.
Second, Michael Jordan. Third, Jokic. And fourth, Shaq. What's the theme? Three guys in that list are centers. Michael Jordan is the
Okay,
one
so Mikan's
lone
not
guard.
just not a guard. Mikan is a center, too, so wow.
Highest win shares average. George Mikan, first. Jordan, second. Jordan also third. And Jokic, fourth. Again, half the list, centers, really non-center, is Michael Jordan. The highest box
so
plus
the
minus
narrative
in
that the guard can't win like this, it was accurate.
championship run. Michael Jordan, 1991. 2, Jokic. 3 again, Jordan. And 4, LeBron James. What is the one common trend? Of course, Jordan is in the top 4, but his contemporaries and peers are all centers, power forwards, guys who are 6'7" and above. And for guys like Jokic, LeBron James, really any modern-day NBA player, for the advanced stats and metrics, they're definitely aware of them, they know they exist. Michael Jordan, 91, had no idea what these stats were, what they go on to mean. So Jordan, 35 years later, still in the top 40 stat categories that he didn't know existed, are pretty damn impressive. And looking at Jordan's absolute peak in this run, that of course was the 91 finals, who won the finals MVP. In all of NBA history so far, there's been a grand total of 57 finals MVPs. Looking at Jordan's ranks among those peers in various categories, they were as follows. Points per game, 14th of 57. Among non-Jordan runs, he's 4th highest among guards. All-time assists, 2nd only by Magic in 1987. Steals, also 2nd, only behind Rick Barry. Third percentage, somehow 15th at 55.8%,
Wow.
the 4th highest ever from a guard. Blocks per game, 18th, also very impressive. Among guards, the 3rd highest ever for a finals MVP. And getting more niche, he's one of 6 players all time to average 30 points per game on above 55% shooting.
Including centers.
Guys average 30 points per game and 2 steals, one of 4 players. Then players average 30 points and assists. He's only a player in league history to do that, only finals MVP. When you're discussing all-time great peaks, 91 Jordan is the absolute tippy top.
He knows it too. When he's talking trash against Kobe, and he was saying who would win, you know, your best team versus my best team. He's always talking about 91. That's what he always said to Kobe. 91. Me and 91 versus you at your best.
Score, all-time great. Passer playmaker, also there. Efficiency, off the charts. And then look at defense. For this Bulls team, Jordan, contrary to popular belief, he was their best defender. In the finals versus Magic, he's the guy who took that assignment. Look at games 2 through 5 when Pippen quote-unquote switched on to Magic. Michael Jordan, possessions guarding Magic, 194. Scottie Pippen, 85. That's games 2 through 5 when the quote-unquote switch finally happened. Look at games 3 through 5, it gets even more embarrassing. Pippen guarding Magic, 38 possessions. Michael Jordan, 182. If you think Pippen guarded Magic this series, you're correct, he guarded him sometimes. But looking at Jordan, from games 1 through 5 primarily, guarded Magic
Yeah, I
more
stand
than
by it.
anyone.
I'll say it one last time. The thing that killed Magic was the second you have Michael Jordan on you, it sucks. The second you don't have Michael Jordan on you, you got Scottie Pippen on you. Like, you can't breathe as Magic Johnson. But yeah, like the proof is right there. It's right in the numbers. MJ was the primary defender.
And look, one thing
Pippen
I
was
do
the
want to
relief.
address, when it comes to Jordan's value to this Bulls team, the majority of his playoff run, Michael Jordan was holding back from his individual dominance. The stats are still fantastic, but theoretically, they could have been even better, and the Bulls still could have won. Even with that being said, Jordan for his Bulls team taking a step back was their best scorer, passer, playmaker, clutch time player, and their best defender. Looking at championship teams historically, a player checking all those boxes rarely, if ever, happens. And look at these stats right here to show Jordan's overall value relative to Pippen. The 91 Bulls on-off numbers, Jordan and Pippen both on the floor, a plus 11.5. That's fantastic. Jordan on the floor, Pippen off, plus 3.5, still in the positives. Now here's the big time catch.
Yeah.
Jordan off, Pippen on. Minus 7.0
Yeah, makes
per
sense.
100. Jordan and Pippen together were unstoppable. Jordan without Pippen, still pretty good. Pippen without Jordan, the team sunk drastically into the negatives. And one thing I do want to look at very quickly, moving off Scottie Pippen, is Michael Jordan the individual and his overall skill set. As looking at him offensively, heck, even defensively, what are this guy's flaws? His overall shot profile, tracking and shooting data, on jump shots, 46.5%. The mid-range, 49.3%. Fadeaways, posts, they're absurd.
So his fadeaway in 1991 was already his best shot. I thought that happened around 93.
Wow. Shoot, surprisingly impressive. Pull-up jumpers, 50.7%. In the paint, fantastic. His left-hand automatic. From 3 with a low volume, 38.5%. And from the line, a very respectable 84.5%. Michael Jordan as a jump shooter and offensive player really had no flaws. As on all three levels, could score you facing up, posting up, or doing whatever. And look at his favorite area, the mid-range. Jordan this run, 106 of 215. Out of recorded history, the 6th most makes ever in a single postseason run. And looking at field percentage, who's the only trail? Michael Jordan from 1990. Once again showing that a high-volume mid-range scorer Jordan is on a tier above everyone else. Now, for someone like Jordan being a knockdown jump shooter, automatic from everywhere, where does that matter most in a ball game? Of course, the fourth quarter, any crunch time moments. Look at that series versus the Pistons, Jordan's fourth quarter stats. Points per game, 10.5. Assist, 1.5. From the field, nearly 70%. And from the line, 84.6. When looking at conference finals all time, that 10.5 average is the 7th highest ever. And among those series, in field percentage, ranks second only behind Shaq in 1998. And of course, Shaq, he's a center, MJ's a guard. Look at the NBA Finals, the biggest stage, Jordan's first appearance in the finals. Points per game in the fourth quarter, 8.6.
Wow.
Assists, 3.0.
His shooting percentages go up, I think.
8.6. And from the line,
Free
he
throws
was
at least.
automatic.
They do.
Right here for Jordan, the East Finals and NBA Finals, he was automatic in the fourth quarters, hitting damn near everything. And look at the assist average, 3.0 in the fourth quarters. Looking at a recorded NBA history, that ranks third all time, only trailing John Stockton and Jason Kidd. Those as, of course, pass first players and true point guards. For that 91 Final Series games 1 through 5, Michael Jordan in the fourth quarters was absolute money. And even game 1 missing the game winner, Jordan for the majority of that fourth quarter was absolutely spot on. And look at these stats right here for Final Series all time. Players average 8 points per game on 55% shooting, only 7 guys historically. The first guy, of course, 91 Jordan. Second, 2000 Shaq. 02 Kobe. 2015 Curry. 2017 KD. 18 LeBron James. And 21 Giannis. Looking at those players right there, what's one thing they all have in common? Those years for those players, debatably, are their peaks as individuals. And looking past the finals, look at the entire playoff run, Jordan's fourth quarter stats over 17 games. Jordan this run was super consistent. Scoring average, 9.0. Assist, 1.8. From the field, 60.8. And for line, 85.5%. Looking at Jordan's overall volume as a guard, shooting that well from the field is unheard of. And historically, only one other player ever has that volume on that good
40% free throws
percentage. And guess who it is? 2000 Shaq, debatably the greatest peak of all
and of
time.
course Shaq's field goal percentage is extremely high because it was all dunks and little baby hooks right next to the rim.
Looking for a single NBA season that checks the most boxes possible, 91 Jordan is the run you're looking for. The fourth quarter stuff, clutch time play, NBA Finals play is off the charts. Of course, he won the MVP, the scoring title, was all defensive first team. His team was dominant. In the end, he was the Finals MVP.
The only guy who ever did it, and he did it 5 times.
Accolades, Jordan's skill set, mindset, his two-way play. That makes 91 Jordan the greatest peak of all time, at least up to this point. Because, of course, our next video, look at Michael Jordan
92,
in 1992.
man. Okay, I can't wait for that one, too. Because 92 is the year that I boast about the most. I didn't mean to rhyme there, man. I'm tired after this one. Anyways, guys, I better head out of here. Are we at 2 hours yet? I don't even know because I can't see until I end this. So are we at 2 hours? I think we're probably at about 2 hours. Man, this is a long one, but what a video, guys. Go check out Uncut's channel. The link is down below in the description. What an incredible job he did again. He keeps freaking delivering these. And the good news is I think I have a couple in the chamber. I got to look after this. And I think there's another year or two that I can react to when it comes to these videos from Uncut. So, guys, go check out his channel. I'm just really impressed, man. You know, like we could put all these together and make a whole mini series out of it. And at that point, it's not even a mini series. We'd be looking at about 12, 13 hours worth of content. Damn, man. Anyways, 91. Yeah, this is the year that Jordan and the Bulls shut everybody the hell up, and he also beat Magic at his own game. Believe it or not. He beat him at his own game, man. He was the main facilitator in that series, and Magic Johnson was on the opposition. Believe that, because it happened. It's crazy. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Let me know if you made it to the end. I appreciate you all. Please leave your comments down below. Hit that like button. Push this one out into the algorithm for me. I'd appreciate it. And I'm sure Uncut would appreciate it, too, because it gets more eyes on his video. Guys, I'm out of here. Peace out. Subscribe. You want more content like this. And most importantly, it's the be water, my friends.